Welcome back, everyone. It is so good to have you here with me today. If you are new to this channel, grab a cup of coffee and get comfortable. I'm Susan. I spent over 20 years working as a Social Security claims specialist, helping thousands of people just like you navigate one of the most important financial decisions of their lives. I've sat across the desk from retirees who made brilliant choices that set them up for a comfortable future. And unfortunately, I've also watched people make one single mistake that cost them tens of thousands of dollars over their lifetime, a mistake they could never undo. Today, we need to have a very important conversation. If you are turning 62 in 2026, you are about to become eligible for Social Security retirement benefits for the very first time. And I know exactly what you're thinking. Finally, I've been paying into this system my whole working life. It's time to collect what's mine. I understand that feeling completely. After decades of seeing those deductions come out of every single paycheck, you want to finally see some return on that investment. But before you pick up that phone or log into your My Social Security account, I need you to hear me out. Because the decision you make in the next few months could be the difference between struggling to pay your bills at 80 and living comfortably through your golden years. I've seen too many people rush into this decision. They turn 62, they see that they're eligible, and within a week, they've filed their claim. Then 2 years later, they're sitting in my office asking if there's any way to undo it, and most of the time, there isn't. Here's the thing that catches so many people off guard. Just because you can claim at 62 doesn't mean you should. And for those of you born in 1964, which is the birth year if you're turning 62 in 2026, there are some specific numbers you absolutely must understand. Let me start with the most critical piece of information. Your full retirement age is 67, not 65, like your parents might have had. Not 66, like some of your older siblings at 67. This matters enormously because of what happens when you claim before that age. If you claim Social Security at 62 instead of waiting until 67, your monthly benefit will be permanently reduced by 30%. Let me say that again because I want it to sink in. 30%. Gone. Forever. This isn't a temporary reduction. This isn't something that goes away when you hit 67. This reduction follows you for the rest of your life. And here's what makes it even more impactful. Your cost of living adjustments, those annual increases you get to keep up with inflation, they're calculated as a percentage of your benefit. A smaller benefit means smaller raises year after year, compounding that difference over time. Here's what that looks like in real dollars. Let's say your full retirement age benefit would be $2,000 a month. That's right around the average benefit these days. If you claim at 62, you won't get $2,000. You'll get $1,400. That's $600 less every single month for the rest of your life. Over a 20-year retirement, that's $144,000 you've given up. Now, I can already hear some of you saying, but Susan, if I wait, I'm missing out on 5 years of payments. That's $84,000 I could have collected. And mathematically, you're not wrong. This is where we need to talk about something called the break-even point. The break-even point is the age at which the larger checks from waiting catch up to and surpass all those smaller checks you would have collected by claiming early. For most people claiming at 62 versus 67, that break-even point is somewhere around age 80. If you live past 80, and the average 62-year-old today can expect to live well into their mid-80s, you come out ahead by waiting. Every year past that break-even point, you're putting money back in your pocket that you would have lost by claiming early. But here's what I really want you to think about. It's not just about the total dollars. It's about when you need those dollars most. When you're 62, you might still be working. You might have some savings. Your health is probably decent. But at 82, at 85, that's when you need every penny you can get. Medical costs go up. Your ability to work goes down. That extra $600 a month becomes the difference between independence and depending on family for help. I had a woman come into my office years ago. Her name was Patricia. She was 62, healthy as a horse, and determined to claim her benefits that very day. Her husband had just retired, and she figured they'd travel, enjoy life, take it easy. I walked her through the numbers. I explained the reduction. She smiled and said, Susan, I feel great. But who knows if I'll even make it to 80? I saw Patricia again about 8 years later. She was 70 then. Her husband had passed away unexpectedly. She was living on her reduced benefit plus a survivor benefit. She looked at me and said, I wish I had listened. Now, I'm not telling you this story to scare you. I'm telling you because I want you to make this decision with your eyes wide open. Let's talk about another scenario that trips people up. What if you want to claim at 62 but keep working? Maybe you're not quite ready to fully retire. Maybe you need the income from both sources. Here's where it gets complicated. In 2026, if you're under your full retirement age and you earn more than $24,480 from work, Social Security will temporarily withhold $1 in benefits for every $2 you earn over that limit. So if you earn $34,480, that's $10,000 over the limit. They'll withhold $5,000 from your Social Security that year. Now, here's the part that confuses people. That money isn't gone forever. When you reach full retirement age, Social Security recalculates your benefit and pays you back over time. But in the meantime, you might be getting smaller checks than you expected, and the whole thing becomes a paperwork headache. If you're planning to work substantially past 62, claiming early often doesn't make much sense. Let me talk to the married couples for a moment, because your situation has extra layers to consider. If you're the higher earner in your household and you claim early, you're not just reducing your own benefit. You're potentially reducing what your spouse will receive as a survivor benefit after you're gone. Here's how that works. If you pass away first, your spouse can claim a survivor benefit based on what you were receiving. If you claimed at 62 and took that 30% cut, your surviving spouse inherits that reduced amount. By waiting to claim, you're essentially buying a larger insurance policy for the person you love. I cannot tell you how many widows and widowers I've worked with over the years who were devastated to learn that their deceased spouse's early claiming decision left them with a much smaller survivor benefit than they expected. This is especially critical for women, who statistically live longer than men and often have lower lifetime earnings. If you're the higher earner and you're a man, waiting to claim could provide crucial financial security for your wife for years or even decades after you're gone. And for those of you who might be entitled to spousal benefits, listen carefully. If you claim spousal benefits at 62 instead of your full retirement age, those benefits get reduced too. At 62, you'd only receive 32.5% of your spouse's full benefit amount, not the full 50% you'd get at 67. That's a significant cut that follows you for life. Now, let me flip the script for a moment. There are situations where claiming at 62 does make sense, and I want to be honest with you about those. If you have serious health concerns and genuinely don't expect to live past your mid 70s, claiming early might be the right call. If you've lost your job and have no other income to survive on, you might not have a choice. If you have a pension or other significant retirement income, and Social Security is just extra money for vacations, the reduction might not matter as much to you. But here's my concern. Most people claiming at 62 aren't doing it because they've run the numbers and made a strategic decision. They're doing it because they can. They're tired of working. They want the money now, and they don't fully understand what they're giving up. So, what should you do instead? If you're turning 62 in 2026, here's my action plan for you. And please grab a pen and write these down. Put them on your refrigerator. Make them your to-do list for January. First, create a Social Security account at ssa.gov if you haven't already. This is completely free and takes about 10 minutes. Look at your estimated benefits at 62, at 67, and at 70. See those numbers with your own eyes. Don't guess. Don't assume. Know exactly what you're working with. Second, think honestly about your health and your family history. If your parents lived into their 90s and you're in good shape, the odds are decent that you will too. I know it's uncomfortable to think about mortality, but this is a financial decision that depends heavily on how long you expect to live. Third, look at your other sources of retirement income. Do you have a pension, a 401k, savings, an IRA? The more you have from other sources, the easier it is to delay Social Security and let it grow. If Social Security is going to be your only income, that actually makes waiting even more important because you need those checks to be as large as possible. Fourth, if you're married, have this conversation with your spouse. Sit down together with your numbers. This isn't a decision you make alone because it affects both of you. And frankly, the conversation might reveal that you have different expectations about retirement that you need to work through. And fifth, consider the middle ground. You don't have to wait until 70. Even waiting until 65 or 66 means a smaller reduction than claiming at 62. Every month you wait, your benefit grows. Here's something that might surprise you. If you wait until 70 to claim, your benefit will be 24% higher than it would have been at 67. Combined with avoiding the early claiming reduction, someone who waits until 70 could receive more than 75% more per month than someone who claimed at 62. That's not a small difference. That's a life changing difference. I know this is a lot to take in. I know some of you are sitting there thinking, but I want to enjoy my retirement while I'm young enough to enjoy it. And I hear you. I really do. But enjoyment at 62 shouldn't come at the cost of security at 82. In next week's video, I'm going to break down the exact calculator you can use to figure out your personal break even point. I'll show you step by step how to run your own numbers so you can make this decision with confidence. Thank you so much for trusting me with something this important. If you found this helpful, please hit that subscribe button. I'm here to help you get every dollar you've earned. Take some time this week to look at your numbers, talk to your family, and whatever you decide, make sure it's a decision you've made with your eyes wide open. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you in the next one.